Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the regular board meeting of the San Benito CISD Board of Trustees. Today's Wednesday, October 11th, and 2023, and I call this meeting in order exactly 5:30 p.m. Roll call. Dr. Ariel Cruz Vela. Mr. Rudy Corona.
Present.
Mr. Frutoso Gomez. Mr. Oscar Medrano. Mr. Alex Reina.
Present.
Mr. Mario Silva. Present. Mr. Perez.
Present.
Mr. Torres. Got a quorum. Thank you all. Let's move on to item 1.2.
Mr. Lopez, I'm sorry, before we start, I would like to take a moment of silence for our bus driver, Mr. Salceda.
Absolutely, sir.
Possible.
Thank you so much, Mr. No.
Thank you.
all. Appreciate it. Thank you. 1.2, the Pledge of Allegiance, United States and Texas flag, and 1.3, invocation, Mr. Corona.
Good evening. This evening for the Pledge of Allegiance, we have a student from Berta Cavazza Middle School under the principal Saul Ibarra, and for the invocation, we also have another student from Berta Cavazza. First, for the Pledge of Allegiance, we have Miss Annabelle Garza. Annabelle Garza is a 14-year-old and in 8th grade at Berta Cavazza Middle School. She is the daughter of Carlos Jr. and Erica Garza. Her favorite subject is math. She has received awards for high achievement in math, science, reading, and history. During her time at Berta Cavazza, she has also received top 5% consecutive years and has maintained all A honor rolls throughout her schooling. She has mastered all her STAR exams and takes pride in her grades. Annabelle is a member of the Wind Ensemble in the Grape Pup Band, where she plays the flute. Annabelle is a member of the Lady Grape Pups in volleyball, basketball, track and field, and soccer. She looks forward to playing as a Lady Hound. Annabelle is a member of the National Junior Honor Society and finds fun in volunteering and helping others. She plans to attend college and aspires to be a special agent in federal law enforcement. For our invocation this evening, we have Joseph Mesa. Joseph Mesa is a 14-year-old and is a son of Jose and Diana Mesa. He is currently in the 8th grade and attends Berta Cavazza Middle School, where his favorite subject is history. In addition to history, Joseph enjoys participating in Berta Cavazza Grape Pup Band as percussionist and is also on the school year's committee. In his personal time, Joseph enjoys playing the piano, which he has been doing since the age of 7, and volunteers as an altar server at St. Benedict Catholic Church in San Benito. Joseph also enjoys traveling with his family, learning about new cultures, and playing with his 8-month-old Boston Terrier, Melly. Welcome. So first we have the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be Miss Annabelle.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today and all your blessings. We come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Please guide our local schools, staff, and board members here with your wisdom and protect the young hearts and minds within. Lord, you always provide, and I ask that you give us the strength and courage to navigate whatever comes our way. In your name we pray. Amen.
Yes, if the parents could please stand up so we can give them a thank you also for coming up.
Okay, let's move on to agenda item number 2, special recognitions. Mr. Perez?
Yes, good evening, everyone. We have a recognition of 2 of our bus drivers. That I think Ms. Nancy Martinez is going to get up and she's going to lead the presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Board President Lopez, Superintendent Mr. Perez, and Board of Trustees. This evening, I'm here to present to you a recognition for 2 of my bus drivers that went above and beyond and actually did great in a situation that many of us would never think of would be caught in. Ms. Lorena Rodriguez, if you come up. Ms. Lorena Rodriguez has 12 years of service with San Benito CSD Transportation. And on August 31st, as she was driving the San Benito Bells home from Bronzo after a football game, an 18-wheeler had a blowout tire on the expressway as they were in the middle lane. Ms. Rodriguez was able to use her defensive driving skills to prevent a further major accident by remaining complete control of her bus and staying calm. And so, Ms. Lorena Rodriguez, we want to recognize you for using your defensive driving skills and to continue doing what you do best, which is drive a school bus to and from school and all their activities with 100% safety in your mind. We received an email from the Bells, if you would like me to read that to you all. It says, on Thursday, August 31st, SBCSD bus driver Lorena drove my SBC Bells to Sam Stadium for the varsity football game. From the moment we got on the bus, she made us feel welcome and was very helpful and patient. On the way back to campus after the game, while the driver was on the far right lane, a semi-truck had a tire blowout right next to us in the middle lane. The sound was extremely loud, which scared us all. Lorena stayed calm, slowed down, and kept us safe. Had she not remained calm, I feel the situation could have been very much worse. I wanted to praise her for her quick actions and professionalism. Thank you to the entire Department of Transportation for always ensuring that our students and staff get to our destination safely. That is from Ms. Isabel Alicia de la Cruz. And we would like to thank you, Board of Trustees, for allowing us to continue doing what we do on professional development days, which is defensive driving skills. And all of my staff is CPR certified and first aid trained. Thank you. Ms. Lorena, thank you. My next driver is Judy Salinas, 21 years of service. Come on up. Judy was caught in an awkward situation. One of the reasons why we have the rule, do not eat or chew gum on the bus, right? Right, Ms. Judy? So, on September 21st, Ms. Judy was en route and used her CPR skills to assist a student choking on a piece of candy. Having been alerted by another student that this student was choking, Ms. Salinas was able to find a safe place en route, pull over quickly, and assist the student from a further tragic incident on her bus. So we'd like to recognize you, Ms. Judy, for being able to do that quickly, efficiently, safely, and help our students in that situation. So that's why we're recognizing her tonight. Thank you. Thank you once again, everyone, for allowing us to continue having our professional development days, because this is what we do on those days. We continue to train and make sure that all our staff is ready in any situation. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I just want to have just a quick comment. There's a couple of board members up here that want to say something on behalf of, what we just heard right now. A lot of this stuff, these heroic, actions, go sometimes unheard, and that's what this whole purpose of the special recognition is for, to praise our staff, for taking care of our kids. So thank you all so much, and God bless you all.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Next, we are going to recognize a very special group in our district. Ms. Cornett will be leading this recognition. For those of us that don't know, it is National Principals Month, and we will be recognizing our principals.
Good evening, Board President Lopez, Board of Trustees, Acting Superintendent Mr. Bettis. It is my honor to recognize a special group of administrators. In honor of National Principals Month, we'd like to express our deep appreciation to all San Benito CISD principals for their tireless dedication to our school community. Principals, we thank you for your unwavering leadership, guidance, and commitment to our students' education and growth. And so we'd like to begin and welcome our elementary administrators. So from Angela Lee Leal, we have Ms. Diane Jaques. I don't believe she was able to join us today, but I would like to go ahead and recognize her as well. And then next, Ms. Marlene Araiza from Dr. Cash Elementary. Mr. Victor Mondial from Dr. Garza STEAM Academy. Mr. Alan Laralde from Ed Downs Fine Arts Academy. Ms. Gabrielle Ocumares from Fred Booth Elementary. Ms. Lupita Montevalles from Frank Roberts Elementary. Can you slow down? Mr. Ernesto Manriquez from Judge Oscar de la Fuente Elementary. Mr. Ezequiel Rodriguez from La Encantada Elementary. Mr. Lucas Gomez from La Paloma Elementary. Miss Mary Julie Aguilera from Rangerville Elementary. And Ms. Diana Atkinson from Sullivan Environmental Science Academy. And so thank you, elementary principals. So you can take a picture? Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go up so that I can get everyone's face. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stay right there. I'm gonna back up a little. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Blanc.
Absolutely. Now we'd like to go ahead and recognize our secondary principals. We have a big group of administrators making a difference. Mr. Saul Ibarra, Berta Cabasa Middle School. Miss Elsa Lambert, Miller Jordan Middle School. Stay right here. Stay right here. Ms. Joanne Fernandez, Riverside Middle School. Ms. Gracie Martinez, Veterans Memorial Academy. Ms. Mamie Lopez, San Benito High School. Mr. Scott Hausler, Positive Redirection Center and Gateway to Graduation Academy. And joining us virtually, we have Ms. Erica Roundtree from Greyhound Online Academy. So thank you again to all of our administrators for all that they do. You're truly appreciated. So, can you picture?
Okay, now don't move, don't move. You're perfect right there, okay? I'll do the moving, okay? 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cornett.
To all the principals and all the principals of our wonderful school district, on behalf of the board, I want to thank you all so much for everything you guys do for our kids. We know it's a tough job, and but we all acknowledge that and we all understand that. So once again, thank you all so much and appreciate it. Thank you.
And our final group of recognition is, today is Texas Education Human Resources Day. And I have a proclamation here by our the governor of Texas. Human resources professionals are a key component of our educational system, and they support school districts of every size throughout the state. Guided by emerging best practices, human resource professionals in education are responsible for hiring, retaining, and developing faculty and staff. This ever-changing profession confronts many challenges, such as population changes, internal staffing requirements, and external factors. But time and again, human resources professionals rise to the occasion in order to give students the best possible education. At this time, I encourage all Texans to recognize the importance of human resources professionals in education and to celebrate the impact they make on students, educators, and schools. Their dedicated efforts will be of great use as we work together to build the Texas of tomorrow. Therefore, I, Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas, do hereby proclaim October 11th, 2023 to be Education Human Resources Day. We have several members of our own HR department, and I'm going to call them. You all would come up and, oh, we have the certificates, so thank you. We have our Executive Director of Administrative Services, Mr. Abraham Gallegos. I believe Ms. Echartea is not with us right now. She is our HR Director. Ms. Amy Sturbart, HR Coordinator. Laura Diaz, HR Specialist. Melissa Haloma, HR Specialist. Irene Martinez, receptionist. Oh, sorry, Dad. Marta Garcia, administrative services secretary. Tom Hawkins, clerk. Marla Valenzuela, insurance coordinator. And Lucy Garcia, insurance specialist.
Okay, stay where you're at. Don't, I'll move. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Got it. Thank you.
So to the HR department, pretty much, I know it's very, very, very difficult. That's a very difficult job. And, but we appreciate all the hard work that you guys do and to keep this district running. So once again, thank you all so much and enjoy your day. Thank you. Are we done? Okay, let's move on to agenda item number 3, public comment. Mr. Corona?
The next item on the agenda is public comment. Before we begin, I will remind our audience members of the board's procedures for handling public comments. The public comment portion of our meeting is available to members of the public according to the following. At regular board meetings, the board shall permit public comment regardless of whether the topic is an item on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. At all other board meetings, public comment shall be limited to items on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. Anyone who would like to speak during public comment must sign in prior to the start of the meeting and list the topic or topics they want to discuss. And individuals' public comments to the board shall not exceed 5 minutes per meeting. Please keep your comments or criticism civil and courteous. Please avoid using profanity and refrain from making personal attacks on others during your opportunity to speak. We ask that you do not discuss students who are not your own children. In addition to the participating individuals shall adhere to the following. State their full name and what organization or group, if any, is being represented. Indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. Shall refrain from commenting directly on any individual employee or public official by name, but may refer to the specific employment area, job title, or the board as a whole, and shall refrain from attacks on individuals. Lastly, if after at least one warning from the presiding officer, any individual continues to disrupt the meeting by his or her words or actions, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have individual removed from the meeting. If a speaker is seeking board resolution of a specific complaint, that concern should be addressed through the district grievance process. District policy DGBA has been established for addressing employee complaints. Policy FNG is the avenue for filing parent complaints, and policy GF addresses community member complaints. Grievance forms can be obtained at the campus administration office or at the district central administration's office. This evening, we have Mary Main as our speaker. Welcome, Ms. Meany. You will have 5 minutes, Ms. Meany. You already know the rule.
Thank you. Good afternoon, or good evening, actually, Mr. Lopez, Acting Superintendent Perez, board members, and community. I was going to start a little bit different than I usually do. I have a concern that is being advanced by some other teachers in the district also. Has to do with the morale of the teachers and the staff. It is going downhill. It hasn't helped when we looked and saw the projected school scores. One of the things that is a little concerning is that it seems like on the board meeting, if you look at the closed meetings, we have added upper echelon being added into the district, yet we're losing our lower people, the people that are actually doing all the work, that are covering 2 and 3 jobs to get our, to get the job done, get the students to where they need to be, help the teachers be as productive as they can. This is something that would be really nice if somebody could kind of take a look at, because as I said, it's starting to be talked about in more than just one area. Also in regard to morale, it would be nice if we could, and of course with you being the acting superintendent, it's probably not within your purview at the moment, but it would be really nice if we could get back to talking about waivers and the possibility of multi-year contracts. They're not that big of a deal for some people, but it can make a little bit more appreciation felt that we're mattering. And that's not just at the teacher level, that's going down lower too. Also, my plea as usual, don't forget Christmas. We've got teachers that are depending and staff members that kind of depend on that mid-year stipend. So if you can happen to find that extra $500 or so, we wouldn't object to an increase in it either, but we would actually like that. Okay, again, my thanks. This is where I usually start, is thanks. Guys, we've got some absolutely fantastic staff in not just at the high school, but in the middle schools and the elementary schools that respond very quickly and actually appreciate some help with things like grades, because into the 9 weeks, they're going a little bit Hermantile over there. So we've got PEMS departments, attendance kids, or staff. We just finished doing a PSAT, SAT at the high school with network outages for an electronic test. So we've got people that coordinated a lot to make this work, okay? And then last in shout is this year, for the first time, we're gonna have a Goblin team racing on the 21st in Brownsville and on the 28th in Edinburgh, and we will get you the invites to that. Please come. Not as a criticism, but I have only had one person at an F24 high school race, and that's Roy Samanka, our custodian, head custodian. It would be really nice if we actually had some admin show up for the Goblin race. That's one of these are the little kids, all right? So again, thanks to all the people that we've got that are backing it up to where we can actually do what we need to do. And I'll also put a plug in for the ACE Fall Festival, because some of us are going to be fundraising to help make these things happen. So thank you very much for your time. Again, please think about helping us with the morale levels. Okay, thank you.
Is it? Okay. Okay, let's move on to agenda item number 4, Acting Superintendent Report. Mr. Perez.
Good evening again, everyone. So we've arrived to the end of the first quarter of the school year. I would like to take some time to thank all of our wonderful staff for what they do day in and day out. As we've seen from our wonderful transportation staff that put a smile on their faces every day so our students feel safe and welcome, to our custodial staff that go above and beyond to keep our facilities clean and inviting. This Friday will be an early release day for our students, and it is a great time for our teachers and campus administrators to finish up the 9 weeks. and to continue to prepare for the next 9 weeks. I do want to recognize, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and all of San Benito CISD family, I do want to give our sincere condolences to the families of high school special education teacher Gladys Miñana, and bus driver Enrique Sauceda. I knew both of them very closely, and I really enjoyed their time with us, so they will be sorely missed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Let's move on to agenda item number 5, reports. 5.1, the district safety update. Mr. Perez?
Yes, we have Mr. Rene Flores, Safety Director. He's going to have a short presentation on safety. A lot of our safety initiatives that we've been working on since the beginning of the year.
Good evening, Board President Lopez, Acting Superintendent Mr. Perez, and Board of Trustees. And yes, they're putting me on a time limit. All right, it started, so I'm on a short time frame. This is a spotlight on school safety, an update of what we've been doing for the last couple of years since I've been started off with the district. So first off, very proud because as we were thanking all administrators, I can't and we can't as a group do this without their help. But as I mentioned to you, we do have intruder audits that are done by TEA and the Texas School Safety Center. We are 4-0 as of today. So we've had 4 campuses out of 100% of the campuses that they're going to be checking. And as a result, we have 0 findings on all 4 campuses. So the following campuses have already been seen: Veterans Memorial, Rangerville, the Collegiate Academy at VMA, and Frank Roberts. So we do have 4 campuses right now.
Mr. Flores, and are these unannounced visits or they?
Correct.
They're
They give
unannounced?
us about a 7-day window. So we have an auditor that will notify Mr. Perez and Chief Sosa. And then at that time, we have a 7-day window of when they can come in unannounced. They will do an exterior door check and interior doors checks of the campuses. School fencing, we are 100% compliant. Last year, we did have 75% of the campuses that were checked through the intruder audits based off of the guidelines that the state has provided. We do have school fencing that is done, but recently, Mr. Perez and I and operations, the Executive Director of Operations, Mr. Saldana, and Police Chief Sosa, we actually did audits of our fence lines. And we do have some areas that we are looking at to base off that fence line to make some adjustments to it, to some of these schools. So the following campuses are campuses that we are looking at trying to get some quotes to see what we can do. But Ed Downs, Miller Jordan, Dr. Cash, Angela Leal, Judge Oscar, Fred Booth, Frank Roberts, Dr. Garza, Riverside Middle School. So those campuses, we are looking at trying to get some fencing. I know Ms. Mata's looking at me right now, but those are some of the campuses that we looked at for the audit. TEA School Safety Center, we do have a fall 2023 review cycle. So last year, we actually had the following: emergency operations plan, active shooter plans that we needed to submit, the active threat plans. All those were submitted to the state. I went ahead and submitted those, and we had bare minimum of little minor changes on verbiage, and then I sent it, and then we got approval on those. We did have a 3-year safety audit, which was conducted by Region 1. This was in May of 2022. We met the deadline. We're district compliance, and we're going to be looking, since that was done September of 2022, we are going to be looking at the next 3-year audit, which we're actually starting, which will be due by August 31st of 2025. Once we do that, we'll start working on trying to get everything ready for the district audit piece for this for the school district. This fall review has every year they're checking to, the state is checking to see what we're going to be doing pursuant to the TEA code that you see up there. but we are submitting a set of plans for the state. And so these are the plans that I'm currently working on right now in conjunction with Chief Sosa and Executive Director of Operations, Mr. Ray Saldana. So we do have the Emergency Operations Plan, the Severe Weather Plan, Train Derailment Appendix, and a Hazardous Material Annex. All due by the 10/26. They're going to be met with plenty of time frame to submit. I can tell you that Texas School Safety Center hasn't even started reviewing these, but once they do, they will let us know what we need to look at, and then we should be fine with everything. There's some minor adjustments that we're looking at on the train derailment. The biggest thing that we are looking at is we have to look at every campus within 1,000 yards of a railroad. And so we're looking at everything that is within 1,000 yards, or campuses that are within 1,000 yards, and plans that we need to put in with PPEs and so forth as well. Access card readers, you've already heard me say these because I've been coming up here for the different phases, but we've completed phase 1. Phase 2 is very close to completion. We have 147 card readers under phase 2, and phase 3, we have a pending purchase order right now, which we just came up to the board the last time for 106 readers with 9 gates. So once that starts up, we're estimating about December that we should hopefully be complete, if not early part of January. But everybody will have the updated card readers at every campus, instructional, non-instructional. We'll have some in those non-instructional ones as well. Panic key fobs. If you look at the campuses that are listed, each campus received a panic key fob. So in accordance with Alyssa's law, we've given every administrator a panic key fob, and that key fob gives quick emergency access. So in the event of an emergency, they press a button, it will activate, and it will go straight to Security International Alarms. That will get notified to our dispatch center, and we send officers pretty quickly to that. That is a massive emergency. So on this, I listed how many campuses, and as you can see there, San Benito High School received 8, and if you look at Angela Leal, they received 4. So every campus received key fobs for the start of the school year. That is operational. We are conducting checks on those every 2 weeks or so. The other thing that we've had is we have a periweather system. Spoke with Mr. Pettis, and we were looking at trying to do a periweather system for the district. This is actually mounted onto Bobby Marl's press box. It has a siren, it has a strobe light, so it will send out we have a radius of 8 miles around that area. So any thunderstorm that comes in or lightning that comes in and breaks that 8-mile radius, it will send out an alarm and a message, one-time message, and then alerts start going out to 150 people that we have. We have 10 district users with administrative rights. And we do have a meteorologist on call, which is Mr. Pettis needs to make a call, or if we need to make a call on his behalf to see about early release or shutdowns or so forth, that we can proceed with the meteorologist giving us that backing on this. It does go 8, 20, and then 30 miles. So we are finding out 30 miles out how close the system is. It's already gone off. The last storm that we had, it sounded off and alerts started going out with this. Window film was the last thing that I talked about because it's a nice hefty price that we were looking at. As you already know, the state is looking at the requirement of this. This window film is, and I will make sure that I let you know, it is not bullet resistant, but it is enough it meets the guidelines of the state, which is window force resistant film, to give that the first responders time to be able to get to the location. So as you can see with the cracked window, that it keeps this intact. We are looking at this company coming in on October 17th to do accurate measurements of the windows, and then they send it out 4 to 6 weeks. We receive the materials, the windows. They are done by schools, and then they will submit. This is based off the guidelines that we're looking at with the state. So anything that has a massive opening, so if you had these doors and you had glass under it, those are the ones that we would actually have to look at for the state. So they will measure, send out, and then they will install. It'll take about 2 days to measure. And then once we get those, then we'll be looking at receiving these 4 to 6 weeks, and then they'll start setting up, which will probably take up to a week. And about 30 days or so, they'll kind of get everything ready for us. We are still pending some funding. Right now, I've talked to Texas School Safety Center and Region 1. The state is looking at releasing some more funding. I know we did apply to SAFE grant, and so we're waiting to see where that's going to lead, but apparently we are supposed to be hopefully receiving some more funding through the state to assist us with this.
Yeah, between the state, the Elon Musk Foundation, and the federal grants, we haven't paid for really any of these things out of local funds. And then we anticipate that even the funds we're going to use for the safety glass, the protectant, we're going to probably be receiving a grant sometime in the next 6 months for that too. So we've kind of been ahead of the game on a lot of things, so we've been able to go back and reimburse the district if they have to spend any of our money, so that's been a good thing for us.
So this one, it would be the piece, the Perryweather was also received with funding, Panic key fobs as well. The access card readers was all Musk Foundation and the Texas TEA school safety grant that paid for this. And just a guesstimation or estimation on this, you're looking at an upwards of almost about $1 million, $900,000, $1 million, give or take, that was used for these 3 phases, but none of that is coming from local funding. And that is update on the safety.
Just one last quick question, Mr. Flores.
Yes, sir.
As far as some of the things that you were implementing, as far as like the active shooter, the weather and all these things, are we working closely, like, I know Mr. Sosa, I guess this would be a question also for Mr. Sosa. Are we working also with the local PD and the local city? We are?
Yes, sir. We're supposed to have 3 school safety committee meetings a school year. That panel has increased to where we not only have the local PD, but we have federal PD or federal agents that are there. We also have state DPS that has arrived to assist, and we have Cameron County Emergency, who also provides us with guidelines for the state. So a multitude of law enforcement presence that we do have for these committees. Apart from that, the city police department, Chief Perea, Captain Cortez, we do speak with them very frequently, and by we, Mr. Chief Sosa and I speak with them very frequently, and we are having monthly meetings to have discussions to see what they can assist us with and vice versa. So we have a mutual partnership with them, with the city. And I can't forget the fire department and EMS, because they do help us out quite a bit.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Any more questions? Are we good? All right.
Thank you, Mr. Flores.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go on to agenda item 6, consent agenda under academic services, 6.1. The request approval memorandum of understanding between San Benito CISD and the Behavioral Health Solutions of South Texas for 2023-2024 school year. Question? Consent. Request approval of the memorandum of understanding between San Benito CISD and the Easter Seals Rio Grande Valley for 2023-2024 school year. Question? Consent. Request approval of memorandum of understanding between San Benito CISD and the United Migrant Opportunity Services Migrant and Seasonal Health Start Program for 2023-2025 school year. Question? Consent. Request approval for the liability waiver between San Benito CISD and the Green Power USA Foundation. Question? Consent. 6.5, request approval of the resolution between San Benito CISD and the Texas Park and Wildlife Department to apply for the state grant for San Benito High School STEM's Outdoor and Recreation and Nature Leadership Program. Question? Consent. Item number 7, the consent agenda under Business and Finance. Request approval of gift and bequest for the 23-24 school year. I got a question on that. 7.2, request approval of the budget amendment for 23-24 school year. Question? Consent. 7.3, request approval of the purchases over $25,000. Question? Consent. 7.4, request approval of the cash account report for September 2023. Question? Consent. 7.5, request approval of the comparison of revenue expenditures to the budget report for September 2023. Question? Consent. 7.6, request approval of the tax collection report for September 2023. Question? Consent. 7.7, request approval for the check disbursement report for September 2023. Question? Consent. 7.8, request approval for the quarterly investment report. Question? Consent. 7.9, request approval for the quarterly federal funds comparison report. Question? Consent. 7.5, request approval of the operations to extend the pest control services district-wide. Question? Consent. Agenda item number 8, consent under administration. 8.1, request approval for the T-Pest appraisal list for the 23-24 school year. Question? Consent. 8.2, request approval of the T-Test appraisal for the 23-24 school year. Question? Consent. 8.3, request approval for board minutes. Question? Consent. So can I have a motion to approve under consent agenda 6.1 through 8.3 for the exception of 7.1, please? Can I have a motion?
So move.
I got a motion by Mr. Silva. Can I have a second?
Second.
I got a second by Mr. Corona. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, 7.1, sir. I got on the gifts and bequests.
Yes, sir. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to go over everybody who has donated in this last month. We have Vanes Hair Affair, and they donated backpacks, personal hygiene items, and pencils to the district. We had the Wing Shack. They donated 3 10-piece special gift certificates. Capital Towing, LLC, we had $200 donation. San Benito Walmart, $100 gift card for the purchase of the waters or any candy for our students. And finally, we have Taume Garza Funeral Home. They donated $100 for the tailgate for the next home game. And we want to thank all of them for donating to our students and to our district, and we appreciate the donations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. The reason why I'm questioning it, because I think it's very important. I think sometimes when we're going through the consent agenda, as you can see, we can see our stuff here in front, but I think when they're giving the gifts and stuff like this and bequests, I think it's very important to acknowledge the people that are actually supporting our kids and our programs in the district. So moving forward, Ms. Isabel Gonzalez, I would appreciate, or on behalf of the board, appreciate maybe like a little thank you on social media and stuff like that, so we can thank them, because a lot of these are from our you know, from our businesses and our community and so forth and so on. So I think it's very important to acknowledge the fact is that they contribute back to our kids and our district. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Can I have a motion, please, 7.1? I got a motion by Mr. Silva. Can I have a second?
Second.
I got a second by Mr. Reyna. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, let's go on to agenda item number 9, action agenda. 9.1, discussing the consideration of possible action for approval of the amendment of affiliation agreement between San Benito CISD and VHS Harlingen, the hospital company LLC. Mr. Bettis?
I believe we have Mr. Rosa. I think this is just an amendment to an agreement that we already had, correct?
Good evening, Board President, Mr. Lopez, Acting Superintendent, Mr. Perez, and members of the board. Basically, we're revisiting a previous MOU or an affiliation that we had with Valley Baptist. It's actually with Valley Baptist. And what they've done is actually make an amendment and opened up more areas for us to be able to offer a variety for our clinicals. So before, we used to have just cardiology services. Now they've added EMS, which is our emergency medical services, health information technician, nursing rehab services, inpatient, outpatient physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and x-ray technician. So any programs that we offer through the high school that might fit in those areas, and we can allow, or they will allow our students to do their clinicals at that time. So it's just an amendment to what we've already had in place, except they kind of opened the wings a little bit more for us.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's great news, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Can I have a motion? I got a motion by Mr. Silva. Can I have a second?
Second.
I got a second by Mr. Rudy Corona. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. 9.2, discussion and consideration and possible action to amend Board Policy CH Local. Mr. Pettis?
Yes, this conversation came up at committee meeting. It was asked to be put on the agenda as a request to go from the $25,000 threshold for board approval and to take it up to the $50,000 as that's the way the state has it. So I think Ms. Mata has some information.
This is just to facilitate the number of 25,000 purchases. Like the example for today, we had one, and it was actually 49,800 and something. Had this policy been in place at 50,000, we wouldn't bring it to the board for approval. But it's just to facilitate the process as far as purchases are concerned. And most of them that we bring to the board are under 50,000 for the most part. Of course, the large ones that are 100,000, 400,000, like Mr. Flores mentioned for the panels and so the access cards would still come to the board. But this is just to facilitate the process on $50,000 purchases or less. And again, to match what the state has. And again, the CV for construction is already at 50,000.
Yes, ma'am, I want to thank you so much. Yes, this conversation had come up, this policy had been changed a while back for different reasons, but I think we felt as a board that, you know, that just makes it more efficient, you know, to give our staff the opportunity to sign off on things that are more than 25,000, under 50,000. So we wouldn't have to have board meetings after board meetings, because then if not, you're gonna be waiting a whole month to get things approved. And I don't think that's an efficient process. I think, you know, it's something that we can facilitate now, just so we can continue moving forward and be more efficient on things that we need. And I don't know if it's gonna give Ms. Mata more work, but I'm sorry, Ms. Mata, you know, so. But anyway, I think on behalf of the board, I wanna go ahead and ask for your support on this item. So can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Silva. Can I have a second?
Second.
I got a second by Mr. Reina. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We move on to agenda item number 10, closed meeting. In accordance with the Texas Government Code Open Meetings Act, the board may move into closed session for the following reasons. Section 551.071 for the purpose and private consultation for board attorney and/or any or all subjects and matters authorized by law. Section 551.074 for the purpose and consideration of appointment, employment evaluation, reassignment, duties, disciplinary or dismissal of a public officer or employee, or to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. Section 551.082, or certain school board deliberations. So we go into executive session at 6:26 p.m. Thank you. Okay, we're reading to executive session, from executive session at 7:02 p.m. Let's move on to 11.3. Employment resignations and retirements and termination. Mr. Perez?
Yes, I recommend that we, as discussed in executive session, the employment resignation, retirement, and terminations of the employees we discussed.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Silva. Have a second? Got a second by Mr. Corona. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Let's move on to 11.4, discussion and consideration and possible approval of the employment of La Encantada principal. Mr. Perez?
Yes, I recommend Sylvia Garcia as La Encantada principal.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Corona. I got a second by Mr. Silva. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. 11.5, discussion and consideration of possible action of the employment of Student Support Services Director. Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir, I recommend Joanne Fernandez as the Director for Student Support Services.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I got a motion by Mr. Silva. Can I have a second? I got a second by Mr. Reina. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. 11.6, discussion and consideration of possible approval of the supplemental duty agreement for the acting superintendent as discussed in executive session. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Corona. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Reina. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Agenda item number 12, closed meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion by Mr. Silva. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Corona. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. We adjourn this meeting at 11:04 p.m. Thank you. 7:04 p.m.